Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we are tackling a huge question, one that's moved right out of science fiction and into our daily lives. Are the AIs we're all using actually intelligent?
You know, for the longest time, this was a question for philosophers, maybe some scientists in a lab somewhere, but now, with tools like ChatGPT literally in our hands, it's a question for every single one of us. Every time you get a shockingly creative response, or one that makes absolutely no sense, you're bumping up against this really deep question.
And this debate, it's not new. It's as old as computers themselves. You had pioneers like Alan Turing watching the very first computers play chess and wondering, wait, is that machine thinking? They knew right away that we'd either have to start accepting that machines can think, or we'd have to completely redefine what thinking even means.
But what's really shifted everything is that this isn't just a thought experiment anymore. It's personal. We're all talking to these large language models, and honestly, they mimic human conversations so incredibly well that you just can't help but wonder, is there a real intelligence on the other side of the screen? Okay, so let's dig in. We're going to put a modern AI to the test and see if we can find the cracks in the armor.
So, the riddle we're going to use is a fun twist on a classic. It's built specifically to see if the AI has genuine understanding and can follow logic, or if it's just, repeating patterns it's seen a million times online.
Now, the original riddle from back in the 70s was all about challenging gender stereotypes. The answer was, the surgeon is his mother. But look really closely here. We've changed one critical word. We said the surgeon completed his preparations. We've explicitly made the surgeon male.
So, the big question is, how did this super powerful modern AI handle this tiny but crucial logical twist? Did it reason through the new info, or did it just fall back on an old familiar pattern?
Yep, it gave the classic answer to the original riddle. It totally ignored the word his and gave an answer that actually contradicts the puzzle it was given. So what happened? The model saw the pattern of the old riddle and just ran with it, completely failing the actual logic test right in front of it.
A failure like this makes it seem like the model isn't thinking the way we do at all. It feels like it's just predicting the next most statistically likely word to say based on all the text it's read, even when that answer is just logically impossible. It's acting like the world's most sophisticated, but ultimately clueless, autocomplete.
But hang on, what if this is the totally wrong way to be looking at this? What if we're asking the wrong question by expecting AI intelligence to be a mirror image of our own?
Let's explore a really cool idea that might just clear all of this up: the concept of top-down versus bottom-up thinking. The framework here suggests that human and AI intelligence aren't better or worse than one another. They're just fundamentally different. They're coming at the problem from completely opposite directions.
And this contrast is just fascinating. We humans are top-down thinkers. We start with a big idea, a goal, an intention in our heads, and then we find the words and symbols to express it. AI models, they work in the complete opposite way. They're bottom-up. They start with trillions of words and data points, and they assemble them based purely on statistical patterns. And out of that giant pile of patterns, coherent ideas can emerge.
You see, this explains the paradox perfectly. It's why an AI can write a beautiful sonnet without ever intending to. It's not trying to be poetic, it's just assembling the statistical pattern of a sonnet. And it's also why it fails that simple logic riddle. It defaults to the familiar pattern it recognizes over the actual goal of solving the new puzzle.
So this is the really crucial point. What does this fundamental difference actually mean for our future, living and working with these thinking machines? Well, for one thing, it means the race is not about replacing humans. Because we're built so differently, it's pretty unlikely that AI is just going to replace us across the board anytime soon. Our top-down, goal-driven mind is just a completely different tool than AI's bottom-up, pattern-matching machine. We're good at totally different things.
And that difference doesn't mean it's a competition. It actually creates this incredible potential for partnership. Our strategic, big-picture thinking is the perfect complement to an AI superpower, sifting through enormous amounts of data, finding hidden patterns, and sparking ideas we might never have come up with on our own.
The real race isn't AI versus humans. It's about figuring out the absolute best ways to collaborate. The people, the companies, the organizations that are going to get ahead are the ones who learn how to team up with these strange and wonderful bottom-up thinkers to make our own top-down minds even better. And this just reframes the entire conversation, doesn't it? We can move away from the fear of being replaced and start getting excited about being augmented. So the final question I want to leave you with is this.
What becomes possible when these two profoundly different kinds of intelligence finally learn to work as one?